Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. I could say I apologize for not uploading videos for a while, but there have been circumstances beyond my planning. Maybe not beyond my control, but certainly beyond my imagining or planning. So I'll explain some of those as time progresses. Suffice it to say, it's been 4 months since I began my expedition to Arkansas. I was down there for about 3.5 months, and it's been a trip. It has been an experience. I saw a lot of, quite a few subscribers, which was great, and did as much video as I could when I had signal and time to do the videos. I did not finish the video series on the mystery map, but I'll hopefully get back to that. I'm back in Cedar County, and signal is not good here anymore, so I may have to travel to town to upload. I'll have to see on this one how it goes. I guess that's a brief recap. I have still a lot of pictures I took. I mean, photos, in my gallery that I could do videos of with talking and with, explanation, basically on the series of, protecting and developing the homestead for everybody that's coming here. A lot of really good advice, and I absolutely have to follow up on some of that because I see a lot of people making the same mistakes, and a lot of mistakes can be quote-unquote fatal. I mean, they could be physically, literally fatal, but they could also just be fatal to your dream, your vision, your hope of getting out here, getting out onto the land, getting rural anywhere in the country, getting out of the big cities, and doing anything that is going to be sustainable or helpful. So we'll go into that. I've mentioned them a few times, but you got to have water. You got to have some way to get water. You got to have some way to have some kind of income. You can't just go live out in the wilderness on nothing, on a hope and a prayer, unless you have just some either serious financial resources or just you're going to have a lot of miracles happen. So. And things like getting the land surveyed and getting it, getting title insurance, things like that we'll talk about. So that's not the import of this message right here. Is just a touch base, update, request prayers. Yes, absolutely. I'm not even sure I can begin to even go into some of the weird things that have happened. But that's not really my intention here, so I won't. So one thing that I have a picture up there from a video I was watching. I don't remember what it was. If I did, I can tell you which one it was. But those who fly alone have the strongest wings. Hopefully I won't get, fried for doing that. But and then another one here is, and this is, you can see the website on this one, fearlessmotivation.com. I'm not saying I'm back agreeing with everything they say, but obviously. But it is much better to walk alone in the right direction than to follow the herd walking in the wrong direction. Hallelujah. That is absolutely true, and is something that I experienced when I was ordered at what I would call my inquisition, the excommunication meeting, the kangaroo court held by people who admitted that they were not in charge, were not a church, did not have a board of elders, did not have any kind of oversight other than the person that controlled everything. The Jezebel, Chief Jezebel. Anyway, when I was ordered to cease and desist, take down my website, take down my book, quit my ministry, yeah, maybe I should have. Maybe I should have just done all that and prayed and see what happened at that point in time. But as far as rebuilding, salvaging, I guess would say, my marriage, it was too far gone. It was hopeless. So anyway, but one of the guys gave me a hard time. He says, "Well, if you're walking and you think people are following you, and you look back and there's nobody following you, you're going for a walk by yourself." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, that worked for me." Noah did, you know. Jeremiah did. He preached for 17 years. You know, Messiah preached for 3 years, lived a life, perfect life, and at the end of 33 years, nothing. Nobody stood with him. So, Paul at the end of his life, nobody stood with him. So, and you can see that in Timothy when he asked for his cloak and books. He asked Timothy to bring him, Nobody stood with him at the end of his life. So, can we expect any better? Probably not. So, I'm going to just continue to plod along. As Charles Spurgeon wrote a book called John Plowman's Talks. The plowman was a guy that put his hand to the plow and didn't turn back. Just kept trudging along. And William Tyndale said, "I just want to be God's plowboy. I want to just keep plodding along, going forward, keep continuing to do what he's given me to do, and let the chips fall where they may." So, and that's pretty well where I've been for a long time. So, one thing I would request specific prayer about, I had done videos talking about widows and orphans, and very seemingly fortuitous, seemingly divine intervention happened. As I look back, I wonder if it wasn't just the enemy, a temptation, or a diversion, counterfeit. But I actually wrote down a statement, and I've refined it, and I'll probably read it because I've refined it to the point where, it's quotable. Well, anyway, a person who was an orphan and who was a widow was so impressed with that she got in touch with me and read it to me 3 times while we talked on the phone. Was so impressed with that. Now, also happened that she has some issues with privacy and this and that. I would say a tad of bit of paranoia, self-imagined stuff. I don't know, maybe real, but anyway, just I would ask you to be in prayer about that situation. The first email I got was titled "Perpetual Funding," and we had talked about doing basically what I've intended and believed and know has to happen. Hold training systems, training meetings with people, teach them how to do things. So that hopefully is still going to happen, and perhaps not with that person. They're not the only person in the kingdom with money, obviously. When Elijah said, I am left, what was the response? I have 7,000 that have not bowed the knee to Baal. So, a little bit of dry throat, sorry about that. And that's magnesium water, it's not Sprite, it's just the bottle. All right, so the hope for financial aid at this point in time has been withdrawn, and just such a bizarre set of minutiae details that had to happen for this all to come into play, look like it was going to come into play, and then be withdrawn, tells me that the Father was, for whatever reason, in it. I mean, I see his hand. I don't see, whenever I see multiple things come into play where the timing had to be within seconds and within minutes, divine providence at work. So whether it was a warning for me or a touch and a withdrawal for whatever reason, I don't know. But This person did promise on Sabbath, on her Sabbath, she made two very, very important promises to help Sister Cathy with financial aid and me with financial aid. And those were both withdrawn on Sabbath. The offers were made on her Sabbath of a money transaction, and then they were withdrawn on Sabbath of the same money money support. So please be in prayer for Sister Cathy. She's still living out of her car. Just not good. And after having been, in a motel for a few days, a week or two, whatever it was, I think a couple of weeks, to go in shock, the body to go right back out into the heat of over 100 index, not good. And she's already got serious physical problems. It's beyond my comprehension of being able to survive and what she's been through. So my blood pressure is one of my key questions. Those of you who've been concerned about that, I appreciate your prayers. Thank you for your prayers. And I had ordered exercise videos, and I am doing those at least once a day. When I did them once a day before, I was in really good shape and blood pressure and everything was great. I was able to run 2 blocks and run up 4 flights of stairs to a parking garage downtown Springfield after a concert with my sons. They took off running, so I ran with them, and I stayed right with them. 2 blocks, parking garage, 4 flights of stairs up, and I wasn't even winded. My legs were a little bit weak, so that was awesome. I'm doing those again every day. My plan is to do it twice a day. I missed this morning, but I'm going to do it right now, and I need to get rolling here to do that. So that's a brief recap. Absolutely prayers appreciated. Anything that can be done. If you get in touch with me, I've posted Cathy's phone number and stuff before. I will put it on this description after I have a chance. I'm probably going to start uploading this to see how it goes, if it'll even upload here where I'm at. Prayers appreciated. That's a huge thing. I've seen a lot of lessons. In every case, there were no where I've been to help, and where I've been, maybe I just ended up there. I will say that, how do I put this nicely? And this offer of help even. All women 60 and up, one just turned 60, and not under coverture. And I believe right now we're under increased and going to be increasing spiritual attack, spiritual warfare. And I don't know. I have seen in every case unwise decisions being made. I'll just leave it at that. So pray for people in that situation. I know they can't all be alleviated. There is no solution. Father may have plans down the road for everyone in that situation, and even guys. So many men I know right now are single. I'm single. Not good. One of these women was like, "You need a wife. You need to have a helpmate. You need to have." And I said, "Well, I've had people praying about that for a while, so who knows." A lot of concern there. For anyone out there at this point in time, with the raging war that's going on in the heavenlies, in the spiritual realm, to do that without a spouse is, makes it much more difficult. Certainly it does for me, because one of the points was you need somehow where, you have help with cooking. I do what I can do. to stay healthy, to stay alive. I've been trying to for a long time. I've known that for years, Anyway, probably 10 years I've been fighting that battle. So, but it's come to the point now where it's not just a priority. It's a top, like, other than maintaining prayer and reading scriptures and spiritual my spiritual health. Keeping the body alive is right now is very, very much a top priority. So I am taking some supplements, I'm exercising, and I'm doing everything I can to sleep as good as possible. And so that's about it. I've been doing that for a long time, but it's beyond. Oh yeah, I need to do that. No, it's I need to do this, or I'm not going to be around to help anybody like I've been planning and hoping and being prepared for decades, since before I was born. So, all right, this is Jeremiah the prophet. Whatever. This is Jerry Diamond. If you're listening to this, you are the remnant. And if you're in a situation that's difficult, pray, ask for prayer. Thank you everyone who have helped out, financially, the donations here and there. And now would be a good time to, if anybody can help out Sister Cathy, that would be great. And I'm, I always need help because I'm always helping people. So anyway, that's about it. So I appreciate it. Thank you for everything. Those of you who have been like consistent helpers, I really appreciate that. And my patrons on Patreon, thank you. I can't even, with the spotty internet now, I've got some things I need to get done on Patreon, the email system and all that, so I will get that done as soon as I can. Most of the time I was in Arkansas, I was in places that had, well, some of them had good signal. One of them had zero signal, the first one. So nothing at all, phone or anything. And that's why, one of the reasons why I was offline, and just a quick explanation, my big phone, my main phone that I've had for years, went bad. The battery went bad, and I need to get one to replace it to get the information off of it, pictures and stuff. So that one got replaced. The other one has been, up and down, spotty. But and then a lot of places I just didn't have signal, and either I didn't have signal or didn't have time. So I just, that's by way of explanation, not complaining, just explaining, as my friend John Walter says, and not trying to make excuses, just saying this is just what happened. A lot of it was I was just physically beyond capable of doing anything. So just trying to stay alive. So I think everyone understands that's been with me for some time. And if you're new, watch some of my older videos. I've got like 1,600 videos, give or take. So, all right. But it's Jerry Diamond. If you are listening to this, you are the remnant. Thank you. Bye-bye.